Good afternoon and welcome to Math with Mr. D. Today we'll be talking about multiplying a whole number by a fraction. Well, let's get going with our first problem. It reads, my class has 18 students. Exactly 2/3 of the students like seeing the green grass than seeing snow. How many students prefer seeing the green grass? Well, if I look at my word problem, I know I have a keyword in there that tells me I have to do a specific mathematical operation. That keyword is of. Of tells me I have to multiply. All right, there's two ways to solve this problem. One way is to draw a picture. We're going to draw smiley faces in this case of how many students I have in the class. My word problem says I have 18 students, so that's exactly what I did. I drew 18 smiley faces, or I pulled them off the computer. I can't draw that way. Anyway, that's neither here or there. I have 18 students. I have 18 smiley faces that represent those students. I want to be able now to group them into thirds. And I want to group them into thirds because that's what I'm working with. It said 2/3 of all my students like to see the green grass rather than seeing the snow. So I'm going to pick up my marker and I'm going to somehow get these circles into 3 even groups. Again, working with thirds. So I know that each group should have 6 smiley faces in there. So I'll count 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 1. That's another third. And there we go. Right now I have 3 even groups. Again, working with thirds. So what I want to do on my next slide here is I like to be neat, I like to be organized. So in my first third I had the 6 smiley faces, in my second third I have another 6, and in my third third I have another 6. So the problem was asking how many students prefer to see the green grass. It was 2/3. So I take a look at my first third and I add 1/3 and 1/3 together, and that gives me 2/3. So I look at my first 2 rows right here and I count how many smiley faces I have, and I do have, yep, you guessed it. Oh. Smartboard doesn't want to work. That's quite all right. I have 12 students. That's one way to draw a picture. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, Mr. D, you said that the word of tells us multiplication. I didn't see any multiplication in there. Well, if you said that to yourself, you're thinking right. Way number 2, though, is multiplying. So way 1 was to draw a picture. The second way is now to multiply. 3 easy steps. Step number 1. You want to write the whole number as a fraction. In this case, our whole number is 18. We're talking about 18 students. So how do you write that whole number as a fraction? Well, remember, numerator and a denominator is the same thing as part over whole. Numerator is our part, and the denominator is our whole. So our part is 18 because we have 18 parts that make up one whole class. So our numerator will be 18 because, like I said, they make up the parts of the class. And our denominator is 1 whole. So our denominator is 18 over 1. Step number 2. I'm going to multiply our numerators and denominators. Remember 2/3 from before? Well, that's what we do. We're going to take 2/3 and we're going to multiply it with 18 over 1. We multiply our numerators together, 2 times 18. Yep, that gives us 36. And 3 times 1 gives us 3. Oh, you caught on. You're right, an improper fraction. Well, our third step is to write the product, our answer, in simplest form, and we can't forget to label. That's really, really important. We always want to label our answer. Otherwise, we don't know if we're talking about lemons or crayons or apples or pears or race cars. So we always want to label our answer. So if you remember, I make an improper fraction. I have to turn that around and make it into either a whole number or a mixed number. It's the same thing. You divide the numerator and denominator, and if you get a remainder, you know you're going to have a mixed number. If you don't have a remainder and your quotient's a whole number, well, that's your answer. So if we do 36 divided by 3, we do get our answer of 12 students prefer to see the green grass. Well, I hope that you learned something this afternoon. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.